After completing all the inner motifs, we will proceed with sewing. First, refer to the finished product, or the schematic diagram. Place the 4 types of inner motifs in their correct positions. Here, you need to use the color of the outer edge of the fabric piece for sewing and connecting. Sew the horizontal sides first. Then sew the vertical sides. Please watch me demonstrate the specific sewing method. First, thread the sewing needle with the corresponding contrasting color yarn. Next, take out 2 motifs. The motifs here are random. The sewing is done on the right side. Place the 2 fabric pieces with their wrong sides facing each other. Align any 2 sides. Next, locate the stitch on the left side of the 2 chain braids at the right corner. Pass the needle through the back loop of the middle chain stitch. That is, 1 strand of yarn like this. And go through the corresponding position on the motif behind it. Pull the yarn through. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail here. You can sew over the beginning again. Then, continue with the needle picking up the back loops of the adjacent stitches on the left side of both motifs. That is, the 2 strands of yarn, where the motifs are close to each other. Pull the yarn through. Next, continue to pick the 2 strands of yarn, near the left stitches. Sew them together correspondingly. Weave in the yarn tail as you sew. If you have dropped or added stitches while crocheting, resulting in the stitch counts on both sides not being exactly the same, you need to make appropriate adjustments when sewing. Make sure to sew the 2 edges together as evenly as possible. You can weave the yarn tails inside as you sew. After sewing this side, you will reach the corner of the fabric piece. Similarly, for the corner position, pick the 2 strands of yarn closest to this chain braid. Sew them together. You can sew the corner position one more time to secure it. Once done, don't cut the yarn. Take 2 adjacent pieces from the same row. Follow the same method, and continue sewing another side like this. That is, sew from the chain stitch position at the corner. All the way to the chain stitch position at the other corner. Next, follow this method too. Sew the rest of the motifs in this row. After sewing the last 2 motifs in this row, sew one more time at the end for extra security. Then bring the yarn to the wrong side. Tie a knot to secure it. Weave in the yarn tail following the texture. Now, one side in the horizontal direction is sewn together. Next, use the same method to sew the remaining sides in the horizontal direction on your own. Then continue to sew the vertical sides. You can turn the fabric horizontally. And similarly, start sewing from the chain stitch braid at the corner. When you reach the corner position, similarly, sew the corresponding chain stitch braids of these two pieces together. After completion, also, start sewing from the chain stitch braid at the corner of these two pieces on the left side. Then, follow this method to sew along this side. After sewing it, fasten off and weave in the ends. After this city is sewn, follow the same method too. Sew all the remaining sides as well. In my swatch, there are fewer pieces for demonstration purposes only. I'm just showing the method. Up to this point, the sewing of the central motifs has been explained. After all the center motifs are sewn together, the next step is to crochet the inner edging around the fabric pieces. While crocheting, you will still need to switch colors. The new stitch used is the DC4 popcorn stitch and cross DCS group pattern. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with the first round. Here, I'll demonstrate using a small sample. There are fewer motifs in this swatch. The main focus is on demonstrating the method. Join the yarn to the double crochet stitch on the right side of any side of the blanket. Make one beginning chain to start. Then, work one single crochet into the joining position. Next, pick the adjacent stitch on the left and work one single crochet for each corresponding stitch. Work all the way down this side, until just before the corner position on the left. Now you've reached this spot. Pick the chain space of this corner and work one single crochet. Then, at the motif joining position, with 2 strands of yarn, make one single crochet. Continue by picking the corner position of the motif on the left and working one single crochet. Work all the way down this side following these steps, completing all motifs, until just before the corner position on the left side of the blanket. Now you've reached this position. pick the chain space of this corner and work 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. This completes the corner. Follow this method to finish crocheting the remaining sides and corners of the blanket. After completing the last corner, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. Fasten off normally. The first round is now completed. For the second round, the crocheting method is similar to the first round. On the sides, pick up the corresponding stitches and work single crochets. At the corners, work single crochets and chains. Please refer to the chart and finish them. Continue until you reach the last corner position. My sample swatch is already finished. Next, work 1 single crochet in this corner's chain space. Chain 1 as a transition, then pick up the first single crochet stitch and work 1 single crochet. The second round is now finished. Let's continue with the third round. For this round, you will need to use 2 contrasting colors. We will call the color we are using now as color 1. Start with color 1 and make 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Here, you need to switch colors. First, work 2 chain stitches. Then, hang color 2 with your left hand. Work the third chain stitch. The turning chain is now completed, and the color change is complete. Next, use color 2 to work 1 DC4 popcorn stitch. We'll refer to this as the popcorn stitch from now on. First, pick the left stitch and work 4 double crochets. As you work, gently weave in the joining yarn tail. Temporarily remove the hook. Then insert it back into both the first stitch and the loop that was left. Then draw the loop through the first stitch. Mindful when crocheting, the double crochet should protrude forward. Then switch to color 1 and work 1 chain stitch. This completes the popcorn stitch. And the color change is complete. Continue with color 1 to work a cross DCS group pattern. Yarn over. Skip the first 3 stitches on the left side. And work 1 double crochet in the 4th stitch. Then work 2 chain stitches. Mindfully weave in color 2 as you work the edge. First, work 1 chain stitch above color 2. Then work 1 chain stitch below color 2. Continue by placing color 2 over color 1. Work 1 double crochet and switch colors. Yarn over, insert the hook into the first available stitch on the right side. Work 1 incomplete double crochet. Then switch to color 2 to complete this stitch. This completes the cross DCS group pattern. And the color change is done. Next, work 1 DC4 popcorn stitch with color 2. First, work 4 double crochets into the adjacent stitch on the left. Temporarily remove the hook. Then insert it into the first stitch, and the loop that was left. Pull the loop through the first stitch. Mindful to make sure the double crochet stands out. When crocheting the popcorn stitch later, all double crochets need to stand out forward. Next, switch to color 1, and work 1 chain stitch. The second DC4 popcorn stitch is now completed, and the color change is done. Continue with color 1 and work across DCS group pattern. Skip the first 3 stitches on the left. Work 1 double crochet into the 4th stitch. Then make 2 chain stitches. Carry color 2 along as you crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the first skipped stitch. And work 1 incomplete double crochet. Switch to color 2 and complete the stitch. This cross DCS group pattern is now done. And the color change is complete. Let's take a look at the piece. For this round of sides, use color 1. To work across DCS group pattern with double crochets, use color 2 to make DC4 popcorn stitches. Pay attention when crocheting with color 1, you need to carry color 2 along at the chain stitch positions above. At the corner positions, use color 1 to work double crochets and chains. You can follow this method. Refer to the chart to complete this round. After finishing, join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. Pull tight. Color 2 will not be used anymore. You can leave a tail of about 5 centimeters and cut it off. The third round is now complete. Next, work on the fourth round. Make 1 beginning chain to start. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Pay attention at the chain stitch positions. Keep the carrying yarn inside. Continue by referring to the pattern, and complete this round. After finishing, insert the hook into the first single crochet, and join with a slip stitch. Tighten. Fasten off normally. Weave in the ends. In the fifth round, Join the yarn at the corresponding position, and work single crochets and chain stitches. Please refer to the chart and finish crocheting them. Up to this point, the method for crocheting the inner edging has been fully explained. Next, we'll learn how to crochet the surrounding motifs. Let's take a look at the finished product. Each corner of the blanket is motif 1D. The crochet method is identical to the other motif 1, except for the contrasting color. You can refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the pattern instructions and complete them. Each side of the blanket corresponds to one motif 4. Use a chain stitch to cast on. Crochet in rounds around the starting chain. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with casting on. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Hold the hook with your right hand. Make a slip knot first. This knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten it. Now start crocheting the chain stitches. 1, 2. Continue all the way until you reach the required number of stitches. Here, I'm using a smaller number of starting chains for the sample. Please refer to the chart for the exact stitch count. That completes the casting on. Now move on to the first round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning, which counts as 1 double crochet. Then, on the second to last chain from the starting chain, which is the 5th chain counting down from the hook. Pick up the strand above this chain stitch and make 1 double crochet. Continue by picking up the adjacent chain braid on the left and crocheting 1 double crochet. Chain 1 as a transition. Skip 1 chain braid. Starting from the second chain, crochet 3 double crochets correspondingly. Chain 1 as a transition. Work 3 double crochets into the next chain space, separated by 1 chain stitch connection between each group of double crochets. Continue working along the side until you reach the last chain space. Now you've reached this position. Pick up the last chain braid and crochet 1 double crochet, 3 chains, 3 double crochets. Three chains and 1 double crochet. Rotate the piece. You can see the starting chain braid. There are 2 strands of yarn left at the double crochet working position. Pick up these 2 strands from the remaining chain braid to make double crochets and chains. Weave in the starting tail as you crochet. Each double crochet corresponds to the other side. Pair them up and crochet into the same chain space. Continue down and finish this side using this method. Stop just before the first chain position. Now you've reached this position. Pick the first chain braid. Work 1 double crochet, 3 chains, 3 double crochets. and 1 chain. Then pick the third chain from the starting chain and work 1/2 double crochet. The first round is now completed. Let's take a look at the piece. It forms a square shape like this. Treat the corresponding chains and half double crochets at these 4 corners as the corners of the motif. The stitches between the corners are considered as the sides of the motif. Continue to crochet round 2. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Pick up the hole underneath and work 2 double crochets. Chain 1 for transition. Pick the chain space on the left side and work 3 double crochets. And 1 chain. Next, crochet 3 double crochets and 1 chain stitch into each chain space. Work along this side. Until just before the corner position on the left side. Now we've reached this spot. In the chain space of this corner, work 3 double crochets. Three chains. And 3 more double crochets. This completes the corner. Continue downward following this pattern, and finish crocheting the remaining sides and corners, until just before the final corner. Now we've reached this position. At the corner position, work 3 double crochets. And 1 chain. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain, and work 1/2 double crochet. That completes round 2. The working method for the remaining part of motif 4 is relatively simple. Please refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding sides and corners. After completing, fasten off the yarn normally. Weave in the ends. Please refer to the pattern chart and finish crocheting them. Proceed with sewing next. Referring to the finished product or the arrangement diagram of the swatch, use the identical method of sewing the central motif to attach the surrounding pieces to the corresponding position on the blanket. You can also sew the horizontal sides first, then sew the vertical sides. Please refer to the previous demonstration and sew them together. Up to this point, the making and installation methods for the surrounding motifs have been fully explained. Finally, crochet the edging. Take a look at the finished product. The outer edging is crocheted in rounds around the motifs that have already been joined. The method is similar to crocheting the edging for the inner motifs. Pay attention to the stitch positions at the end of each side on row 2. Adjust the number of double crochet stitches between crossed DCS group pattern according to the chart, and also double crochets and crossed DCS group pattern on the 5th round along the side position. Do not switch colors in the middle. You can refer to the previous demonstration and follow the chart to finish crocheting them. Finally, add decorations around the sides of the blanket. Take a look at the finished product. Decorations include the flowers, ruai, and 4 different types of leaves. Among them, the crochet method for the flowers is identical to the first 9 rounds of motif 3. It's just different in color schemes. You can refer to the previous demonstration and crochets based on the pattern chart. After completing, leave a 40 cm yarn tail for sewing. The rest of the leaves and ruai are all crocheted back and forth, with a chain stitch cast on. You will need to switch colors while crocheting. The new stitch technique used is HDC2 tog and TR3 tog. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, let's learn how to crochet the ruai motif. Start by chaining the corresponding number of chain stitches. After completing the foundation chain, work the first row. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Pick up the chains of the foundation chain and work slip stitches correspondingly, all the way down to finish the row. After completing, fasten off the yarn normally. The first row is now completed. Move on to the second row. Have the right side of the piece facing you. Keep the slip stitch braid downwards. The starting tail of the yarn should be on the right hand side. Locate the starting position at the 13th chain loop from right to left. Pick this chain loop and join the yarn with the remaining 2 strands. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Insert the hook below and work one slip stitch. Next, pick up the adjacent chain braid on the left side, and correspondingly make 5 slip stitches. And 3 single crochets. Then work 4 half double crochets into the chain loop on the left. Continue by picking the chain loop on the left and working 1 single crochet. Next, pick the last chain loop and work 3 half double crochets. Work 2 chain stitches. Then pick the first chain loop and work 1 slip stitch. Make 1 chain for transition. Insert the hook under the half double crochet's entry position and work 1 slip stitch. Then pick the third slip stitch loop on the other side. Work 1 slip stitch. Skip 2 slip stitch loops. Pick the third slip stitch loop, and work 1 slip stitch. Skip 1 more slip stitch loop. Start from the second slip stitch loop. W2 or 4 slip stitches correspondingly. Now we're approaching the joining position. Continue to skip 2 slip stitch loops. Start from the third slip stitch loop. Work 4 slip stitches correspondingly. Then, with an interval of 1 slip stitch braid, crochet 1 slip stitch. Then, with an interval of 2 slip stitch braids, work 1 slip stitch. Then, after skipping 2 slip stitch braids, pick up the first chain braid of the stitch and work 1 slip stitch. Then make 3 chains for transition. Pick the second chain from the hook and work 1 slip stitch. Continue to pick this chain position, and work 3 half double crochets. Weave in the previous yarn tails as you crochet. Pick the adjacent chain on the left and work 1 single crochet. Move down and work 4 half double crochets on the left chain. Then work correspondingly 3 single crochets. And 6 slip stitches. Now we're approaching the joining position for the second row. Enlarge the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 30 centimeters and fasten off. Insert the hook from back to front into the first slip stitch chain on the left. Pull the yarn tail through. Then insert the hook from the bottom up through the last slip stitch chain, and pull the yarn tail through. After weaving in the yarn tails this way, there are no obvious marks on the surface, and the texture is more beautiful. Leave the remaining yarn tail for now. The starting yarn tail has already been woven in partially, so you can cut it off directly. Make sure to hide the joining yarn tails. This Ruai motif is now completed. Continue following this method. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of Ruai motifs for later use. Next, we will crochet leaf 1. After making a foundation chain, in the first row, work slip stitches into each stitch correspondingly. After completing, cut the yarn. My swatch is already done. Now move on to the second row. Keep the right side of the piece facing you. The slip stitch should face downward. The starting tail of the yarn should be on the right. First, join the yarn at the corresponding position of the first chain stitch. Make one beginning chain to start. Insert the hook into the joining spot, and work one single crochet. Weave in all the ends as you crochet. Then work 3 half double crochets correspondingly. Also 4 double crochets. And 2 half double crochets. Then pick up the last chain position, and work one single crochet. Continue by picking up the thread on the left side of the piece. Work one single crochet. And one chain stitch. Then pick up the single crochet below the chain. With these 2 threads, and work one slip stitch. Continue by picking up this thread and working one single crochet. Now we're at the slip stitch position. Work one single crochet into each slip stitch evenly. Followed by 2 half double crochets. Four double crochets. Three half double crochets. And one single crochet. After completing, leave a yarn tail of about 30 centimeters and cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail in the same method as the Ruai fabric piece. If there is any remaining yarn here, you can cut it directly. This leaf is now completed. Please follow the same method. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of leaves. Continue learning the crocheting method for leaf 2. It is divided into leaf A and leaf B. The crocheting method is similar. The shape is symmetrical. Let's first learn the crocheting method for leaf 2. Start with a chain and crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches. Then in the first row, work 1 slip stitch into each stitch. After completing, fasten off the yarn normally. My swatch is already finished. Next, start crocheting the second row. Make sure the right side of the piece is facing you. The braid from the slip stitches should be facing downward. Pick up the first chain space and join the yarn. Make 1 beginning chain to start. Work 1 slip stitch into this position. Continue with 2 single crochets. Weave in the yarn tail as you crochet. Then work 2 half double crochets. Follow with 2 chain stitches. Pick up the 2 strands from the half double crochet below and work 1 slip stitch. Continue with 1 half double crochet. And 3 double crochets. Then work 2 chain stitches. Pick up the 2 strands of yarn below the double crochet and work 1 slip stitch. Work 1 half double crochet downward. Then work 3 DC2 in 1. After completing, work 1 single crochet. Work 3 more DC2 in 1. Follow by inserting the hook into the last chain space and working 3 double crochets. And 2 chain stitches. Then insert the hook into the first chain and work 1 slip stitch. Work 2 chain stitches for transition. Insert the hook into the first slip, stitch braid on the other side. And work 1 slip stitch. Continue with 1 slip stitch braid interval. Start from the second slip stitch and work 2 slip stitches correspondingly into each stitch. Then work 1 HDC2 tog. First, pick up the left side slip stitch braid. Work 2 incomplete half double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops. The HDC2 tog is now completed. Work 2 chain stitches downward. Pick up the HDC2 tog below with these 2 threads. And work 1 slip stitch. Then pick up the left side slip stitch braid, and work 1 single crochet. Skip 1 slip stitch. Start from the second slip stitch. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. And also 8 slip stitches. After completion, leave a yarn tail of about 30 centimeters and cut the yarn. Weave in the ends in the same way as the Ruai motif. This leaf tua is now completed. Continue downward following this method. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of leaf tua. Next, crochet leaf 2b. The beginning chain and the first row are identical to leaf tua. My swatch is already completed. Now, move on to the second row. Make sure the right side of the piece is facing you. Pick up the first chain braid and join the yarn. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. First, work 8 slip stitches correspondingly. Followed by 1 single crochet. Then skip 1 chain. Pick up the second chain on the left and make 1 single crochet. Next, work 2 chains. Crochet 1 slip stitch into the first chain. Follow with 1 HDC2 tog. Then skip 1 chain again. Work 2 slip stitches correspondingly. Skip another chain. Pick up the last chain and work 1 slip stitch. Finally, work 4 chains. Work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Once done, pick up the first slip stitch braid on the other side. Work 3 double crochets. Continue downward with 3 DC2 in 1. One single crochet. And 3 more DC2 in 1. Follow with 1/2 double crochet. And 2 chains. Work 1 slip stitch in the first chain stitch. Continue with 3 double crochets. One-half double crochet and 2 chains. Then work 1 slip stitch in the first chain. After completing, continue with 2 half double crochets. Two single crochets. And 1 slip stitch. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Weave in the ends using the same method as for the Ruai motif. Weave in the remaining yarn tails along the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. The leaf 2B is also completed. Continue following this method. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of leaf 2B. The crocheting method for leaf 3 is similar to leaf 2. You can refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart instructions to complete them. The tip and some stitches of leaf 4 are slightly different. I'll demonstrate the crocheting method for leaf 4 using a small sample. The small sample has already been started with a beginning chain. The first row and second row correspond to the chain stitches on one side. Then skip the first slip stitch braid on the other side. And directly pick up the second slip stitch to work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1/2 double crochet into the next chain space, skipping 1 slip stitch braid. Repeat this 4 times. After completing it, skip another slip stitch. Starting from the second slip stitch chain, correspondingly make 3 double crochets. Then work 1 treble crochet 3 stitches together, TR3 tog, yarn over the hook twice first, then insert through the left side slip stitch braid. Yarn over, draw the yarn through, yarn over again, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this twice. Now there are 2 loops on the hook. This is an incomplete treble crochet. Continue with 2 more incomplete treble crochets. Now there are 4 loops on the hook, which are 3 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops. This completes the TR3 tog. Work 2 chain stitches next. Work 1 slip stitch in the first chain. Continue following the pattern to finish the remaining part. After completion, leave a yarn tail of about 60 centimeters and cut the yarn. Weave in the ends using the same method as for the Ruai motif piece. This completes leaf 4A. Continue working the corresponding number of leaf 4A pieces using the same method. The crocheting method for leaf 4B is similar to leaf 4A, only the stitch order is different. You can follow the chart to finish them on your own. Next, we'll sew the decorations. Let's start with sewing the Ruai motifs. Take a look at the finished product. Sew the Ruai motifs onto the surrounding motif 1 around the blanket. I'll demonstrate the exact sewing method using a sample swatch. The motif position and color scheme in the sample are random. It's just to demonstrate the technique. First, secure the Ruai motif at the 4 corners of the fabric piece with pins. In my case, there are fewer fabric pieces. Pay attention that the curved openings of each Ruai motif face toward the corners. The pointed ends point toward the center. Then divide the reserved yarn tail on the fabric into 2 halves. Thread 1/2 into the sewing needle. Pick up the edge stitches of the fabric piece. Sew it together with the corresponding position on the blanket underneath. When sewing, pay attention to picking up from the top of the blanket piece like this to sew together with 2 threads. Make sure the yarn tails don't show on the wrong side of the fabric. Continue sewing following this method. And sew until you've completed roughly half. Leave the yarn tail in this position after completion. Then thread the other half of the reserved yarn into the sewing needle. Follow the opposite direction. And pick up the edge stitches of the motif to sew it with the corresponding position on the blanket. Be careful not to let the yarn tails show on the wrong side of the blanket. Finish sewing the remaining half. Once completed, tie the yarn tails into a double knot. Hide the yarn tails. Then, the ruai piece is sewn on. Continue following this method to sew the other ruai pieces. For the remaining decorations on the blanket, sew them onto the 4 top sides of the blanket's edges. The sewing technique is identical to that used for the ruai pieces. First, refer to the finished product image for positioning. Use pins to secure the flowers and leaves in the corresponding positions on the fabric piece. Then separately use the reserved yarn tails of the fabric piece to attach around the edges to the corresponding positions on the blanket. Pay attention while sewing, making sure the yarn tails don't show on the wrong side of the blanket. The method is quite simple. You can sew them up by yourself. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the blanket has been fully explained. Next, we will learn the crocheting method for the pillowcase. Let's take a look at the finished product. It is divided into the front piece and the back piece. Both are made up of motifs and edging. First, refer to the finished product, or the motif arrangement diagram. Crochet the corresponding motifs and connect them. The method is the same as for the blanket motifs. Then, refer to the chart to crochet the edging. The stitch techniques and color changing methods required have all been demonstrated before. You can refer to the previous demonstrations and charts to complete them on your own. I'll demonstrate the connection of the front and back pieces and the installation method of the zipper with a sample swatch. Let's start by connecting the front piece and the back piece. I'll use this swatch to demonstrate the joining method. This sample has fewer fabric pieces. The edging stitches are random. It's just to demonstrate the method. Place the wrong sides of the front and back pieces facing each other, with the right side of the front piece towards you. Select the stitch position. That is the 5th from the left side of any one side. And pick up the corresponding stitches from both the front and back pieces to join the yarn. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then, work 1 single crochet into the joining position. Continue picking up the corresponding stitches on the left side of both the front and back pieces. And work 1 single crochet in each stitch. When you reach the corner position, pick up the chain spaces of both the front and back fabric pieces simultaneously. Work 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. Then continue picking up the left side stitches of both the front and back pieces. Work 1 single crochet into each stitch. Take a look at the fabric piece. The pattern for connecting is to crochet the corresponding stitches of both front and back pieces at the same time. Along the sides, work 1 single crochet into each stitch. At the corners, work 1 single crochet, 2 chain stitches, and 1 single crochet. Work all the way down following this method. Complete these 3 sides and 3 corners. After finishing the last corner, continue picking up the left side stitches and work 5 single crochets. Once completed, crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave an 80 cm yarn tail before cutting the yarn. This connects the front and back pieces together. Next, attach the zipper. Use the reserved yarn tail from connecting the pieces to sew. Take out the zipper, close the zipper. Position the zipper head on the left side of the opening. The end of the zipper we call the top stop. The other end is called the bottom stop. First, use pins to hold one side of the zipper in place at the pillow's opening position. Open the zipper before securing it. Pay attention to aligning the bottom stop of the zipper with the side that has the reserved yarn tail. My sample is already secured. Next, split the yarn tail into 2 halves. Thread 1/2 into the sewing needle. Sew one side. Use the remaining yarn tail to sew the other side. Start by securing the bottom stop of the zipper. The sewing needle comes out from this side. After an interval of a certain distance, insert from the other side of the tape. To ensure there are no visible seams on the surface, you can pick up the loops on the fabric. This will hide the sewing marks inside the fabric piece. Then insert the needle again. Exit through the zipper tape. Repeat the previous steps. Come out. Weave in the yarn. Insert again. Weave in the tail. Exit with the needle. You can sew a few times to secure it well. After the bottom stop is secured, continue sewing the tape on one side of the zipper. Use the whip stitch method. Sew along the edge of the opening. Make sure to sew slightly tight. Now we've reached the side seam. Tuck the top stop inside. Finish sewing the remaining part. If the zipper is longer than needed, you can follow along this side and sew a few more stitches for securing it. Similarly, when sewing to the right side, pick up the loops on the surface. Then insert it into the fabric piece. Leave the yarn tail for now. This secures one side in place. Next, sew the other side of the tape. Pull up the zipper first. Secure this side of the tape and the fabric piece with pins. When pinning, make sure the zipper head stays on the outside. Don't tuck it inside the fabric piece. This side of the tape should stick close to the edge of the opening. Keep it flat. After securing everything well, use the reserved yarn tail, and sew with the same side seam method as before. At the top stop position, follow the previous top stop method to attach it securely to the bag body. When actually securing it, make sure to fasten with a few extra stitches. Finally, tie a simple knot with the previous yarn tail. Then secure the yarn tail. Now the zipper is now installed. The pillowcase is now completed. Up to this point, the crocheting method for this blanket has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.